G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to cover everything that happened today with all the orgs. If you guys were paying attention to Twitter, you're probably thinking, Aussie, why did half the pros just sign to this new org Nova? And why have some of them already taken the org out of their name and deleted their announcement tweets? Also, we had the information that obviously I was expecting, a lot of you guys were expecting. We had NRG Bucke confirmed with one of the best org announcements I've ever seen. The hype was unreal and it was almost dampened by the fact that Clix, Bucke, and Creo, it took their very last game. They went to their 10th game to qualify out of round 1 in FNCS today. We had the big content creator pros make it through. We had Nick A30, Nick Merck, Cypher PK. We also had a huge EU team that I've been hyping up a lot recently not make it out of round 1. So I want to talk about that later in the video. Before we talk about NRG Bucke, which I'm sure almost all of you guys heard about, we have another situation with a new org called Nova. And this is an interesting one because a lot of people are saying this is an org that already existed. They used to have pros like Hardfind signed a couple years ago. But if I go to their Twitter, it says they were established in 2021. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But either way, a whole bunch of pros today started tweeting out org signing gifts. Everyone just thought they were impression farms because there were so many. A lot of them were impression farms. I mean, I myself actually joined an org today. I don't want to brag, but I did join one of the fastest growing organizations in the world. I was Ron Aussie for all of about 10 minutes before Ron disbanded, but a lot of them were impression farms. Everyone was having a bit of fun, but Novas were real. They had quite a few massive names signed as well. If you go down the list, they had Saf, they had Orange, they had Tabs G, they had Mikey, they had 40R Storm. There's a lot of big team players that actually joined this team. Now, interestingly though, if you go back and check some of these, most notably Saf is no longer a part of Nova. I don't know what's going on here. Like I said in my videos, I don't like to, talk about a lot of deleted tweets because once someone deletes it, I kind of feel like they're moving on from it. I don't like to dredge up old news, but this is a weird one. Saf no longer has Nova in his Twitter bio and has deleted the signing tweet, even so much so that if you actually go to Saf's Twitter, his pinned tweet is about him being a free agent. The fact that he's not signed to an org. So I don't really know what's going on. All the other pros still have Nova in their Twitter bios and still have their tweets out there. So I don't know if this was just an issue with Saf specifically, but I guess we have a new org on the block. I hope they're treating their players well. I hope everything's legit. I hope nothing dodgy is going on. I'm not saying there is just because Saf deleted his tweet and stuff. Maybe that was a specific situation with Saf's contract and they're going to handle it behind closed doors, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless. As for background information on Nova, this is a little bit hard. Normally when you see orgs like this come out of nowhere and start signing really big names, you assume they have some crazy funding behind them. Quite often, either celebrities or sports stars. I mean, we have David Beckham with Guild. We have Shaquille O'Neal with NRG. Obviously, those orgs have a lot of other funding, a lot of other sponsors, but normally it's someone with some money or sometimes big YouTubers, and that looks like what this situation is. It looks like the owner of Nova is actually FR Jacob, who has a YouTube account with 666,000 subscribers. A little bit freaky on Friday the 13th, but I'm not superstitious. I'm not going to go there. And it looks like they haven't been uploading on for a really long time. Used to get some pretty crazy views. Some of their videos have over 4 million views back in the day. So I guess a content creator coming back into the scene. I can't say I knew too much about them in the beginning, but I hope things are all good. Like I said, I'm always a little bit skeptical when I see big orgs come out of nowhere and sign some really big names. As long as the players are being treated well, as long as everyone is benefiting mutually, more money in the scene is only a good thing for Fortnite. Again, I just hope the situation with Saf isn't foreshadowing of what's to come and we're going to see other players start leaving the org. I really hope things are legit behind closed doors. Now, let's move on to what was one of the best org announcements I think I've ever seen. Bucke was confirmed to join NRG. Obviously, a lot of people saw this coming, but despite everyone already expecting it, the hype was unreal. The video was phenomenal. It was a play on Outer Banks, which I watched a couple episodes from. I'm sorry, it's not really my cup of tea. I get why a lot of you guys like it, but I at least watched enough to get the references, and this video was a masterpiece. The NRG guys just do it so well. Grady is so incredibly smart, and of course, when you get Clicks and Ron, you fly them out to LA with Bucke, you know it's only gonna make phenomenal content. But this was so well written. The way it was done, my favorite part being Zayt, this is our dad, he's gone missing this year, genuinely had me in stitches. I love the announcement, and then of course, following up the announcement, you had Bucke being Bucke more than I've ever seen before, in the best way, breaking down the announcement video to talk about how vascular he is, how much his veins were sticking out, and to try to prove to the viewers that he's actually 6'8" and 230 pounds. I mean, this is what I said in yesterday's video. NRG just gives their pros and their content creators the freedom to express themselves and do an org signing or make content that is very genuine to them. They don't try to make it too professional. It has a lot of the jokes in there. It has a lot of the charm that the players have. And honestly now, NRG has like every single big unsigned Fortnite player who's a pro who also makes content. And also, I've talked about this in a lot of videos. I'm not going to go into great depth on it. A lot of orgs are going down the content route now. They're signing the pros who also make content. That's what the big ones are doing. Obviously, Liquid has signed Scope recently. They have Metro, but that was an older signing as well. They're signing players who make content. TSM got Colazo. NRG obviously has basically everyone else. The big orgs are going after content, not just players who place, but you still do have those orgs with good funding behind them like Falcon, who are going for pro players who are placing, not just those who make content. It's two very separate kind of ideologies, but I think the way NRG is doing it, they're doing it the best. They are really making it awesome. Again, flying the guys out to LA to make the announcement just makes it feel that much more special. And Bucke backs it up with a big stream. Bucke Clicks were both streaming them qualifying through round 1 in FNCS, and it almost went south very quickly. They had an insane first few games. Vibes were high. They were having a great time, but they went through 9 games and they found themselves on 118 points, needing about 120 to qualify. So it actually came down to their last game. They sat back for an hour, they chilled, and then they took their last game and they dominated. Of course, even so much so as to finding out that Bizzle was in their game, and then they keyed down Bizzle, Eclipse, and Coop, and of course, Bucke had to meme it. Again, it comes down to them just making phenomenal content. Bucke's team saying that, hey, if you're close to qualifying, but you see Bizzle in your game, you know you've qualified. Despite the fact that Bizzle, Eclipse, and Coop right now are doing phenomenally well. But man, it was a fantastic day for Bucke and NRG to say the least. Well, speaking of FNCS, we did have FNCS round 1. I don't usually talk about it too much because, again, it's opens, it's round 1. It is the easiest round technically, but a few big teams were really close to not qualifying, one of which on EU didn't qualify. So we obviously had Clix' team just qualify through in the final round. We had Nick Merckx' team also clutch up a qualification in the final game. They went for high ground. They had a phenomenal pop-off game. Nick A30 actually skated through easily, absolutely popping off and qualifying. On EU though, we had Toos, Kiriachi, and Stormy Right, a team who is doing phenomenally well right now, going into their last game, needing a big game as well to qualify. They managed to pull it off. They just skated through as well. It looks like it was kind of a story for a lot of teams. They needed their last game, but when you're in opens rounds, when you've got a higher caliber team, you can clutch up that last game when you need to. But unfortunately, Vortex and High Chris's team, they didn't make it through. I've been talking about how excited I am to see this team because they're doing so phenomenally well. Now they're not contesting Hen at Craggy Cliffs. They're now going Colossal Crops. I had them picked for a potential top 5 finish this FNCS, and they didn't make it out of round 1. Again, no flame to them. Clearly just something went wrong. I don't think we need to like break down the format. The format's terrible. It's all RNG. I think it just goes to show that no matter how good you are on Fortnite, you can just have a bad day. Bad RNG, maybe you're not playing the best. Maybe you start to tilt. The pressure gets to you of, oh my God, we're a phenomenal team and we're not going to make it out of round 1. It sinks in, and unfortunately, they fell short. Other than that, pretty much every other team made it through. Like I said, I'm not going to break down who did phenomenally well. Yeah, it's cool to see who can W key, but I really do like to focus more on the round 3s, especially in the round 4s, because that's when it really does take the phenomenal teams to step up. A lot of teams can have an insane pop-off in round 1, just really W key their way through, but then when it comes down to it, that doesn't mean a whole lot going into the set lobbies and the grand finals, and that's what really matters at the end of the day, where the money is. Or, again, if you're going to pop off in an opens tournament, it usually is more important for the cash cups when a lot of the pros are taking it more seriously, because that's where the money's on the line. It's worth mentioning because a lot of people were confused today when I was doing a viewing party on stream watching Clix's team. Any team who makes a round 4 and gets top 15 is guaranteed into the heats. So again, quick FNCS description in case you guys are confused. The top 3 teams from the last grand finals are already in this grand finals, and the top 3 teams from each of the week will make grand finals. The other 99 highest rated teams that didn't get top 3 in either the grand finals or each week, they make it into the heats to play in the semifinals. But if you get top 15 in a round 4 from one of the weeks, even if you don't make it out of round 1 the next 2 weeks, that's still enough points to make heats. So any of your favorite teams, like Tace's team, like Clix's team, that got top 15, they're already in, they're already through. Don't worry, they are already in semifinals. The only reason they're really playing now and taking it seriously is to go for a top 3 in the round 4, to skip the heats to go straight into the grand finals. I just thought I'd clear that up because that was a kind of change with consistency points that not a lot of people are clear on. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about today. If you're chilling out and you're looking for something to do today, I will be live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. I'll be watching all the EU and NA East FNCS rounds, and I'm even doing a cheeky sponsor stream trying out a new game. So swing by, say good day. I'd love to have a chat. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.